I want to introduce my very special guest, Rhea Johnson. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be a part of your event.
I am so glad that you're here with us. Rhea, can you please tell us, do you do estate planning?
Yes, we are specializing in real estate, and then we also do estate planning. So it's about a 60-40 split in terms of what we do. So,
Okay.
but estate planning is our other arm of expertise.
Okay, that's awesome. Can you describe and tell people what estate planning is? What does it consist of?
Well, estate planning can be very, very involved, or it can be somewhat simple. It really just depends on what type of assets you plan to leave,
Okay.
and whether or not there are tax implications. So, if there are, your estate pot is very heavy, then you also need to bring in your accountant along with the attorney to make sure that you manage it from a tax perspective.
Okay.
But typically, estate planning for the average person would be a will or a trust or even a deed transfer, depending on how they hold title to real estate property.
Okay.
So it's planning for the inevitable and setting your family up to be able to manage whatever assets you leave behind. So we kind of consult with them early on and talking about a lot of scenarios and people that they want to care for after they're no longer here. And then we plan ahead to set aside a document that will live beyond their life.
Right, right. I think that's very important. And I believe you said wills are a part of that as well. You guys do wills. And how often do you see that, a lot of individuals and families, are they getting these types of things? Are they doing estate planning? Are they getting wills? Do they have this already? Or how often are you seeing this?
It's been pretty consistent. I think COVID definitely
Has open
caused
eyes.
to reconsider.
Right.
But I do see people coming in on a pretty consistent basis to get a will done.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of deed transfers that happen. Sometimes they happen legally, well, I won't say legally, but they happen the right way, and sometimes they don't. And definitely having the advice of an attorney whenever you're doing any type of deed work is something that we want people to do. Because when you don't have the advice of an attorney, you don't do it right, it can cloud title and cause problems when you're trying to sell real estate. But I definitely see people trying to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I see a lot of older clients more than young.
Okay.
When I do see young people, they tend to be professionals with families.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it's kind of a give and take in terms of how people are prioritizing that for the stretch.
Right. Now, when do you suggest that people start considering doing estate planning and wills, and do you have an example of where, maybe someone did it or attempted and they did make a mistake and it was,
Yeah.
not to their benefit?
Right. So one of the things about drafting deeds is the legal description and how that description is placed on the deed, the parcel IDs, addresses. Those things can be very crucial. So a person drafting a deed, if they don't have an eye toward that specific detail in a deed, it can be drafted and it may not transfer the interest that the person thinks that they're transferring. So that's one of the biggest things I would say is just in terms of how it has to be drafted. The way the names have to be listed on the document, and in terms of how the transfer is given, there are different ways to transfer and different ownership types. So you want to make sure that the people that actually have the interest are actually the ones on the grantee side.
Okay.
And then the way the grantor is being listed, how do you want that grantor to take the interest? So these are some of the things, common mistakes I see with people drafting deeds. Sometimes there's some legal requirements about witnessing and notarization that some people may not know, and if they don't have those specific details in the document may not be something that a court or a real estate record can be recorded. I think that just in general, starting an estate plan is good when you have something that you want to leave.
Okay.
I see people that say, I need to get a will, and then when you ask them, okay, what do you have? Do you have a property? They don't have anything. They have a bank account. And so some stuff, falls outside of probate and stuff falls outside of that estate planning if you have a beneficiary listed on your bank account.
Right.
So if you have accounts set up like that, you can do those things with that account institution, banking institution, set up a beneficiary in the event you're not there, set up an insurance policy in the event you're not there. But the wills and things like that come more so into play with tangible property, jewelry, cars, boats. It also comes into play, of course, with real estate. But anything that's more tangible that you can see and touch, and it's not somewhere in an account that you know is there but you can't touch it, then technically those are the things that will mostly fall into the estate. Now, if you have a bank account and there is no beneficiary listed, then yes, that will fall under the estate planning process. So it's really, like I said, on the front end, what we're doing is, what do you have? Let's talk about what you're leaving. And I think then we can get to determining what type of estate plan works best for our clients.
Right. Wow. I think that's really great that you do, like you said, you're kind of a full service boutique law firm where you're not just helping people close on their home, which is one of the most expensive things that you can purchase, usually in a lifetime. And so you're also educating people, okay, well, now this is what you do next. This is how you can protect your asset. This is how you can, set things up to where you can leave something behind for your family. So I think that's really awesome. Is there anything else that you wanted to add regarding estate planning?
I think just estate planning, typically people think of wills, but I would just say having an eye toward a healthcare directive, having an eye toward power of attorney.
Right.
These are some of the things that people need while they're living.
Right.
And you would not think that things happen, and they do, and you need these things. So it may not be a will, but you may want to consider power of attorney and healthcare directive as a first step in terms of, planning for things that may come up that you don't anticipate.
Wow. Yeah. Guys, definitely, we have to face, the reality. And of course, God forbid, we want to live long lives and strong lives, but definitely just preparing, just preparing for things, because a lot of, people who are not prepared, families have to pay for it. And so, we want to put ourselves in a position to where family left behind does have the benefit if and when those things happen where, life insurance may need to kick in, or wills have to kick in, upon those scenarios. So I think that's good, Rhea. I know you have a lot to probably talk about with that. Well, I want to thank you so much for tuning in with me very briefly and for watching this video. For more information, please reach us at 404-965-5041. You can also email us at afarleyrealtor@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for watching. Please remember to like, share, subscribe.